Hey there, it's Lady Knight, and this is day 2 of the 31 Days of Tarot for 2020, hosted by Ethany. And today's prompt is, what are your top 5 tarot decks of 2019? One of the decks that I got in 2019, and this was also published in 2019, is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And this one features Russian and Slavic fairy tales and folklore. It comes with a little white book. It's all in English. So I only wish that they had included the name of the folktale or fairy tale for each card in this book, so that it would be easier to go and research them. And here are the cards, and I think the imagery on that one is just lovely. I love the color palette, and I have seen a video where the person in the video talked a little bit about some of these fairy tales and how that relates to the card, and that was really great. And it would be really helpful to know a lot of these because that makes it a lot easier to understand them. For example, in the Devil card, oh, here it is. The story about this fire flower. I hadn't known that, and it's kind of difficult to get all of that information from the little bit that's written in the book. But knowing what goes on in that story is very helpful to actually put this card into the right context. So I wish they had included a little more of that. Otherwise, this deck reads like a dream, and I'm very happy that I got it. Another deck that I got this year was the Stretch Tarot, and it became available again this year. It was out of stock for a while, but now there is a new edition. And here are the cards. This is a collage deck, but I really love this vintage looking art style. I even like the keywords. Many people don't like keywords. I don't mind. I find them really helpful sometimes. And I use this deck for past life readings, and for that it is really great. I'm getting clear messages from this deck, and even though my edition doesn't come with a guidebook, but there was a PDF that you can download on the creator's website if you decide to get one of the newer editions. So yeah, you don't have to go without a guidebook. And I really love this deck. I enjoy reading with it. Another deck that I use for past life readings is one that was actually created for that, and that's the Art History Tarot for Past Life by Red Orchid Publishing. And this is a deck that uses artwork that already exists, and the images were matched to each of the tarot cards, and you have the original tarot card here in the bottom. You have the name and the creator of the painting on the card, and then you have these keywords for the past life readings that either give you a place or time, or a person, cause of death, things like that. And so far, my reading experience with this deck has been great. And I'm going to go much deeper into past life readings with the workbook that comes with this during the next Mercury retrograde, which is going to be mostly during Pisces. So I'm looking forward to diving into this deck a lot deeper. This year I also managed to buy my first Counterfeit tarot. My first knockoff. I bought that on Amazon, not knowing that it was a knockoff. But yeah, the cards are much smaller than they should be. Like here. Yeah, usually the Los Scarabeo decks are a bit bigger than that. So that's how I could tell right away. But nonetheless, I love reading with this deck. The images are very clear. It's a typical Los Scarabeo art style, which I'm a big fan of. And these images just, they're so intuitive. I love the colors. It's a very clear deck. And I'm pairing this for the entire 2020 with the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. I'm using both of these decks alongside my astrology journal that I write in every day. And if I have any follow-up questions, I use the two decks for that, and the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Wait. So this one I'm using to ask about other people's intentions, and this one I'm using to, like, kind of as a follow-up to find out what I can do based on what the other deck is giving me as a reading. So how can I work with what other people are thinking, doing, you know, kind of how can I use that for a positive outcome. So that's how I'm using this deck. And in my list of top 5 tarot decks for the year, one deck has to be mentioned as well, and that is one of my favorites, my Los Scarabeo Tarot. And yeah, that one has a similar art style like the Wheel of the Year Tarot, and I love this deck. I wish they would come out with a borderless edition without all of this, because if I decided to trim this down to the images, that would get really small, and that's the only thing holding me back. I mean, I have thought of trimming off just the white outside borders, but I think I'm going to wait a while longer until they're kind of worn out, and then trimming them may give them a nice fresh look again. But I'm still hoping for a borderless edition, because Los Scarabeo has come out with a few new editions of decks that already existed, doing that in a borderless style, so I'm hoping this will be one of them soon as well. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 tarot decks for 2019. And tomorrow we will talk about the Oracle decks. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!